Let's say if I create a new class, and in this class what I'll be doing, I'll be creating some code, I'll be writing some code to create a text file and to read and write inside a text file. So I'll give this class name as test notepad file, and or let's say give it some other name, file reading writing, right? And what I'll do, in order to let's say work on notepad files, let's say in the very beginning we create a new file with the help of Java code. So how to create a file? There is a class with the name file. I'll create the object of this file equal to new file, and this file has a constructor. So constructor accepts the location where the file needs to be created. Let's say if I create a file under C drive, in which folder should I create? Let's say I have a folder with the name screenshot. Over here I'll create a new file. I'll give the file name as C drive. I need to give it with double backslash screenshot, and then file name I'll give it as test.txt. Right, so there will be a file that will be generated with the extension .txt. I'll save this file and I'll say file dot. So there are a lot of methods available over here. You can see delete a file, create new file. So I'll use this method, create new file. Right, I'll save it, and it will ask me to add this input output exception. So if you take a look at these methods, so there are many methods available which you can use, which can let's say get name of this file, get the current path of this file, length, and there are many methods which we can use in order to do reading and writing inside this file. So what I'll do, I'll save it and execute it, and if I take a look at this folder now, you can see there is a test file with the extension .txt has been created. If I open it right now, it's a plain file, right? So I have created a file with the help of a Java code. Now I will be doing some reading and writing inside this file. Now let's see some writing inside this file. So in order to write inside this file, I need to call another class, that is file writer. I'll create the object of this class fw equal to new file writer. This also accepts a constructor, and the constructor is the location of your text file. So I'll save it here and import these classes as well. And then there is another class that we need to call in order to write, that is the buffer writer class. I'll create an object of this. Let's say write equal to new buffer writer, and inside it I'll give the object of the file writer class. Now I'll say write dot just a second, let me import these classes. Okay, there is a spelling mistake. It should be buffered writer. Buffered writer. I'll import import this, and now when I say write dot, I will have a method that is write. I can use this method, right? So instead of creating object with the same name, I can say file writer. So I'll say file writer dot write, and over here let's say I can pass on please write inside this file, and I'll save it. I'll save it, and now when I run it, and if I take a look at this file, okay, nothing printed. Let me close this file if there is any opened. So what is this thing? Okay, before we write anything, we need to close this file as well. So I'll say file writer dot flush, and this flush will close this file. Now I will save it and run it, and if I take a look over here, see, this is written inside this file, please write inside this file. Now if I need to write anything in the next line, so what I'll do, after this I'll write file writer dot file writer dot, I'll give new line, and then again I'll write file writer dot write, and here I'll say this is my second line, and I'll save it, and then when I run it again, just a second, I need to make sure this is closed. I'll run it again, and over here I'll see the second line is also printed. So this is how we're gonna write inside a file, a text file. Now let's see how we are going to read these things from a file. Now we have seen how to create a file, and then over here we'll see we have seen write inside a file, and now we're gonna see how we can read from a text file, right? So in order to read, like we have a class called file writer, same way we have another class that is called as file reader. So I'll create an object of this class, fr equal to new file reader, and inside it also has a constructor that accepts the path of the file, and I need to import this file reader. Same way we have buffer writer, over here we have buffered reader. I'll create object file reader equal to new buffer reader, and in the constructor I'll be passing the object of the file reader class, right? Then if I say system.out.println file reader dot, I have a method read line. So when I save it and if I run it, See, this will gonna read the line from this file. Just a second, there is some mistake. Okay, okay. It is actually reading the first line of the file. I thought it is printing this thing, but this thing we are writing inside a file, and here we are reading it over here. So if I open the file, the very first line is please write inside this file, and it has read it this first line. Now if I again print the same thing, this will gonna read the second line, right? Now let's say I have n number of lines in this file. Let's say line 3, line 4, line 5, line 6, line 7. So now if I save it, and if I again print this, this will gonna read my third line. Okay, it is showing as null. Why it is showing as null? Okay, I haven't saved it yet. Third line, fourth line, fifth line, and I'll save it. Okay, I got it. So what we are trying to do, as soon as I write this again, as soon as I execute this in again, this overwrites this text file, and then write these two lines over here. So for the timing, I can comment out this code. So we are only doing the reading operation right now. So we are not going to create or write inside a file right now. So I'll comment this creation and writing part. So right now we are only reading. So if I run it, so this will read my third line. Same way, if I again write it, then it will read my fourth line, right? So let's say if I have 100 of lines over here, then will I be writing this system.out.println all the time, right? Which is not feasible. So instead of doing it this way, what I'll do, I'll create a variable I. I'll say string I equal to, and like this, right? And what I'll do, I'll run a while loop. I'll say while I equal to file reader dot read line is not equal to null. Then what it should do, it should print the I. So this is the loop. I need to write it over here. What it will gonna check, it will assign all this read line inside I till the time the line is not null, till the time the last line is not found, and it will then gonna print it. Now if I run this, this will gonna print all the lines from the text file. So this is a text file. Now if I add 6th line, 7th line, and save it, then it will gonna print up till the 7th line, right? So this is how we can do reading and writing inside a text file. Now what is the use of reading and writing in a text file in case of Selenium? Let's say you can keep your test data inside this file, and let's say if you are getting a text from a page, from a web page, you can store it inside a file. Or let's say if you have to fill some like text area, like let's say if there is a compose mail option, and inside that you have to write something, so which you have already stored it inside some file, then you can directly read that file and you can write it over there, right? So these things will gonna help you a lot at times when you're doing automation. Alright, so this is how we can work on reading and writing with a text file.